I'm not sure how they do this. It's like I'll react to a video, then just suddenly I'll get spammed with videos of the same concept. I guess it's recommendations. It's whatever. Anyways, this is on my block. Bamboozled us. I don't know what they talking about. We'll check it out. Let's see.
Then. How?
We can explain.
I hope so. See, the third season of On My Block premiered this past March, and it's been a show that I've personally really been enjoying. We previously covered the last 2 seasons in these 2 videos right here, but they straight up bamboozled us with that new ending. Then Netflix decided to go on a spree, canceling more shows than Walmart did PS5 orders, and decided to blue ball the fans by dragging out the fate of season 4. The last 2 seasons ended in cliffhangers, which, in my opinion, the showrunners did a great job following them up with good storylines and not making them feel like gimmicks, but this one was less of a cliffhanger and more a Sparta kick off the mountain. This season pretty much revolved around Cuchillos, the Santos leader who's been looking for her ex-love Lil Ricky, along with the Roller World money. Now she has the crew doing her bidding. It may have not been my favorite season, but I still think it's a solid entry to these characters' stories, who I'm still hoping have a good finale. So if you haven't caught it, but you're curious, check it out on Netflix. Shout out to our sponsor for keeping us afloat, and a big spoiler warning as I break down the season, starting with the best characters. Let me explain. Now I know this season showcased a lot of daddy issues. You know, the Diaz boys had their father come back into the picture. Monza's dad cried in her arms. Ruby had a bunk with his. But leave it to Jamal to be the only one fired by his own pops.
The hardest part about a job is getting it. And that's a lesson that you need to learn.
Honestly, though, he was easily the best character of this season. Homie's really been the one to keep the crew together through all the ups and downs. It's his journey from season 1 with Roller World that's still going strong all these years later. And the more seasons pass, the more he's growing up. You know, he's not as cartoonish and childish, and he's more determined, you know? Even the clapbacks keep getting better with him.
Cause that bitch be bonkers.
And it took 3 seasons, but hey, my man finally getting some sexy time.
If an admirer wants to get your attention on social media, what should she say in your DMs? It's not what she should say, it's what she should send.
Hey!
Jamal ends up hooking up with a girl who has worse social skills than a homeschooler, but has more things on her schedule than The Rock. Girl doesn't even have Netflix, so she streams sex education on him.
It's not you. It's my purpose.
But, you know, my man's gotta be a leader, so no time for distractions. Between Jamal and Jasmine, I do think they would make good co-captains if they weren't bickering all the time, but I gotta side with Jamal since he is the one who started this. One of the big leads that he has this season is going to the series version of Arc Music Factory, but instead of Rebecca Black, it's this Sarah Lynn Jr. over here.
Red Bull gives you wings. Just kidding. It's the Coke. Do you have any Adderall?
Hot damn, JoJo's, mames.
If you want to stop being mistaken for the help, stop acting like the help.
I really think the season helped Jamal come into his own, and he's realizing how much value he actually brings to the group and how he can lead. And that's exactly why his ending made me furious, It's not because it's impossible for him to end up on the team. My man's been more animated than the Energizer Bunnies. I can see him being like a running back going down the field, but we know that's not what he wanted to be. That's his dad's dream.
What are you doing?
I'm getting into character.
So to see one of the most honest characters have to play pretend? Buffoonery. Give my man and Abuelita their spinoff. The best thing about season 3 is how well they fleshed out Oscar's character, because this man has depth.
I'm a little curious as to if we're Catholic or spiritual or anything like that, because we got the homeboy Jesus up here, right? But then we got a dream catcher. It's like, make up your mind, dude.
I think Julio Macias has done a great job with the role, showcasing a lot of emotion through a character who's usually delegated as the stiff cholo in the back, but he gets to hit a lot of these beats. There's the struggle he's facing within his community and trying to bridge the ways of the old with these new whippersnappers who are trying to take over. He wants to make sure that there's still order. Meanwhile, they're all just disrespecting him. We've seen him be a guide and a protector. He's been on top. They've had him literally caged. And through all that, he's still able to find moments where he can flip the tension and have some great comedic bits.
I don't want to get a ghost.
Your name is Spooky and you're afraid of ghosts?
And things also get deep.
You know the worst part about growing up without a father?
is having to be a father to a brother without ever being a son.
I honestly wouldn't mind seeing a flashback episode, just learning more about Oscar's past, to learn more about how he got to where he is, flesh out his character so we know more of his own needs and desires, because it's after those troubles with his father that ruined his childhood, that then became the troubles with his father that threatened to ruin his brother's childhood, that he finally gets to start anew, with the literal best and only good ending we saw in that finale. This is the content I like to see. And considering he can sing in real life, I think he's gonna be a great dad.
Y esa sonrisa que me tiras de esa mesa me enloquece la cabeza y hace que el corazón haga
In the last season, we talked about how Jasmine was more fleshed out, and that's thanks to Jessica, who plays her, who made sure that she was a well-rounded character who they were building up. And I think she's become an integral part of the group. She has connections, and, she ends up being in a lot of pivotal moments.
Everybody knows a Jasmine, and if you don't know a Jasmine, you're the Jasmine.
That said, a lot of season 3 is her and Ruby's mind. He starts to fall for Jasmine, but she puts him in his place because there's no time for crushes to be crutches. Plus, Ruby has a lot more things on his plate. This season, he realizes that his parents are going through a rough patch due to the finances that they're struggling with, and he feels the guilt because he knows the medical bills are no joke, and, they kind of came from him. So in order to help pay it off before season 10, he opens up an illegal chicken shop by the poolside, and these fools were really serving up rocks and pebbles to a line longer than Popeyes. And yet, it's still not worse than what Jamal's eating in the past.
Come on, give me a Slim Jim.
You're trying to take my protein.
Bruh, I think you already did. By the finale, we do see Jasmine and Ruby together, walking the grounds of the school, looking like Taylor and Bruno Mars at the Grammys. But I just hope they're not using each other as a crutch, especially with that low look that they give. Jasmine has the ability to use her genius for good, especially with the positions of power she's working up to. And I could see her being one of, if not the biggest positive influence in Free Ridge. And I think Ruby needs to become a party planner. Is it gonna take a while?
And we're never gonna make it out of Free Ridge. And even if we do get out, we'll probably end up offing ourselves. Like Monse's mom.
Yeah, but I think it would showcase him recovering from the events in season 1, and it would help his family a lot more than making crappy patties they were flipping.
I'm encrypting via VPN to hide our search. Virtual private network.
I know.
Now, you don't have to be getting chased by cuchillos in order to invest in a VPN, because like Jamal and Jasmine would advocate.
Yeah, we don't care. Get your money, though.
On her mom when her mom was willing to leave and change her name to Whitman. But that eventual breakdown does lead to a great conversation with Ruby, who in season 2 was going through his own trauma. And now she fears that she's becoming too numb to the pain. And, has that worry that she's going to be even more emotionless.
You questioning if you're not feeling means you're still feeling something.
Now, take all that drama from there and see that she's still dealing with this boy over here. They spent a lot of the season sexing her up. Like, at one point, they dress her up like she's gonna be in a Charlie's Angels movie, and it's all to impress this guy over here. And the whole time, she's struggling between trying to remain in the friend zone with Caesar, while at the same time, getting friend zoned by Caesar. It's one of those cases where, as cute as they are together, and they've obviously become the on-screen couple that we've been seeing throughout the seasons, they're both growing, just in opposite directions. It also doesn't help that she gets really grouchy that Oscar's always around until she's around him. Look, I don't know what this was, but show, don't ever pull this foolishness ever again for a plot line. Ever.
Oh my God.
What?
You're pulling a Monse.
Yo, no offense, but I'm offended.
As for her ending, I think it's been clear time and time again that Monse doesn't want to leave her friends, but she definitely wants to be in a new environment, and I don't think that's a bad thing. People shouldn't be shamed for venturing out to better themselves, but they definitely shouldn't forget where they came from. I mean, she's leaving her friends to collect dust in the back. Buffoonery. But hey, in season 2, they called her out for never leaving, so I guess I have to respect the commitment, finally, but how are you gonna have a picture of Cooper in front of your friends like this, man? Now, I do think the show has done a great job at getting into the mindset of its characters and the circumstances they find themselves in, the sacrifices they have to make in order to overcome and learning the cost of making certain decisions. And they do all that with Spooky, but Little Caesar's gotta cut it. I'm usually rolling my eyes with most of the decisions this boy does, but in this season he tries to reconnect with his dad, who he knows very little of since he was too young when he first dipped on him. But But then he gets hit with a big slice of life. You know, when his dad takes Jamal's job, they don't realize that that's also going to come in with that hood tax, as expanded on in David Ayer's 2020 feature. And all that pressure gets to him because he doesn't know who to side with, and he doesn't know which family he wants to lean on. They realize that Cuchillos has turned on them and has screwed their family over, continues to screw their family over. And they realize that they have to cut Cuchillo before she knives them. And Lil Spooky, literally, I kid you not, has his King of the North moments over here.
Just get out there and find him! We got you, little Spooky.
There is that big heaviness that weighs the season of, are they going to commit this atrocious act? Because once you do it, you can't really go back. And we've seen multiple times where Lil Spooky over here has found himself in that scenario and it doesn't go through. But luckily enough, it wraps up pretty well since they find Cuchillo's body in the woods, which the 19th Street guys even burn and bury. But the deeper he continues to get into this world, the more he distances himself from his friends.
You don't even get it. Just being your friend is a liability.
Like Ruby said, there is no hierarchy on their friendship, and so everyone seems to end up on their own with Lil Spooky running things looking like Lil Krillin, thinking that he finally found a spot. And the reason I don't like it, well, it's because you're not supposed to. You know, it's like being mad you weren't smiling in Sophie's Choice. The point was to bamboozle.
Well, those are actually seasonal drinks.
Well, 'tis the season.
Now, I want to talk about some theories and really just talk about how well the show's been doing, you know? I don't know why it's taken them so long to officially renew the show. On the previous videos that we've made, every time we released a video, like, they would renew that bad boy days, maybe even weeks later, so I don't know if I needed to make this video for it to finally get greenlit, but this is a show where the showrunners have signed multi-year deals, so hopefully they continue this. It topped the list in March for movies that are even in the top 30, and it did better than those. So I think that they're getting down to a matter of figuring out how to pay all the actors their money. I really hope they're able to balance it out so that they can give them a full 10 episodes and not cut back like they did with this last season only being 8. And I'm not saying that it has to be a perfect finale, be it the 4th or 5th or however long they go. I just don't want them to bamboozle us like they did with this, you know? I want the characters to be able to at least find some growth, to be able to at least be in a finale or in a place where they want to find themselves in. Season 3 did have a time jump of 2 years, so it is going to be interesting to see how they tell the story. You know, we've been learning new things about characters who have been undercover. We've seen some good back and forth happen, and I can see future episodes kind of like jumping timelines as flashbacks or, you know, stories to fill in that gap. Hell, maybe even PowerPoint presentations by Jasmine. But there's 3 things that I'm looking forward to the most. 1, I'm hoping that they're still all together and they're just pretending to be separated because of the Cuchillo situation and they can't all be together. 2, I hope that past storylines find a way to come back and we're able to learn more about other characters or even see other characters again.
Do you think the Prophets will ever return?
Maybe.
Potentially.
Yeah.
But 3, and obviously the biggest thing that I know is on everybody's mind, it's learning the truth about what Abuelita is hiding, because I know she's hiding more than she says.
What are you looking at?
Dicks? I'm just kidding. I don't do that at the dinner table.
Thank you guys for checking out this video, and I'm curious to know your thoughts down below in the comment section.
I'm gonna try to check and see if he got the updated video. So he made a video 6 days ago. 6 years ago. God damn. When was this made? 4 years ago. Oh yeah, so we're gonna have to check out the video.